This is images. Basically, there's a number of images that swap. I can change the duration of how fast they swap with the slider. Takes longer. See, on the left side they swap faster, and it's right in the middle. It says duration label there. So same way, I'm going to move this view down there. I'll take another view. No, before I do a view controller, I'm going to take care of my classes. I need a view controller. Images view controller. Now in the master view controller, import it. Crop it. Copy and paste, modify the if statement. Change it all everywhere to images controller. That's it for that. Now I'm going to jump into the storyboard. I need a view controller. Images view controller. Copy and paste into the storyboard controller. Bring it here, bring it forth. I need a images. Image view. No, not all, not covering the whole screen. Somewhere around there. A slider. Label. I don't know what, said something like speed. Now I should be able to open up the associated editor. Yes, I do. I need an outlet for the image view. I need an image outlet for slider. An action for the slider. Connection is action. This label said duration. Now I can jump into the .m file and I can import those constants if I have it. No, I don't have them. I can actually get a lot of code from the old samples. So I got a lot of things from the old file. I got two constants. In the view did load, I can get title as images. I have an array, image view animation images, an array. Animation duration is 5. Stop this animation for right now. Accessibility features, and set some accessibility features. In the slider action center, I convert it to the duration slider, an instance of a slider. Then its animation duration is going to be duration slider's value, and if it is animating, start the animation. View will disappear. Stop the animation. Change the bar button style and shared application status bar to this style. View will disappear. View will appear. Start the animation. Set the bar style and shared application status bar style. All this code is the same. Another thing I can do is I can set some properties for 1 to 10. I can set these values from 1 to 10. Current, make it 5. And another thing I can do is my slider. I think I created a custom class in the earlier tutorials. See if it's not going to look different in the design view. It will look different at the runtime. That's what I'm expecting. There you go. That's the custom slider. I changed it from the original sample. If I move it this way, things start, the swap slower, swap faster here. So that was pretty easy. So that's done. So now I'm going to work toward making the web using the web UI web view. So as soon there's a text box and there's a web view. Whatever URL you type in here shows up, and then if you press enter, shows up in the web view. There are two components, a text box and a web view. Whenever you click in a text box, start typing, there's a little X box that shows up, which causes everything to delete. There's a placeholder, enter a URL. The keyboard has been configured to make it easy for typing URLs, .com, the go, and we look at all those properties. So before I begin with the storyboard, I need to add a class. Same way I'm gonna add a file, new file, Objective-C, web view controller that inherits from UI web view controller, a web view controller subclass of UI view controller. So I was experimenting with it. I'm going to delete these things from here. So now that I have a class, I'm going to go into storyboard, drag a view controller. As soon as I have the view controller, now that I have a class, I'm going to change the custom class to web view controller. copy and paste into the storyboard, and I'm done with that part. Now I'm going to bring it forward. So I need a view controller. Web view controller. Click here, bring comes forward. Need a text box. Drag a text box up here, a little bit down, and let's configure the text box. I'm going to make it this square looking. I am going to make some properties. Clear button, it's that little X box on the right side. Appears is always visible. Okay, you can do any of that. Clear when editing begins. Capitalization, none. We don't want it to capitalize. Correction, no. Keyboard type, URL, the go button. Appearance, alert, no, we'll go with the default. Enable auto return, I don't know what that is. No, we don't want that one. Next thing, I want to do two things. I want to create an outlet for it. Control click drag. Okay, these exist from when I was experimenting with it. Control click drag. Text box outlet. Need to create the delegate, where the delegate is going to be. Control click. This opens up. Delegate. Control click and hover on top of it. So now I need a web view. Web view, drag one up here. I'm not going to make it all the way down there. Automatically the nav bar is going to show up, so need some empty space. Now same thing, I need to set some properties on it. You can set some properties. I didn't set any. Assistant editor, control click drag. Web view outlet. Now I can close this. Now I need to tell UI click, control click on the UI web view and delegate. Control click on top of it, where the delegate is going to be is in the owner of this view, which was web view controller. Now I gotta write some code. So I'm gonna go open the assistant editor again, click here and switch to web view. That's where the delegates are going to go, for the text box and the UI web view. And for when I type in the text box, click enter or click the go button, some event is going to fire, and that is a standard, text field should return function. So I'll just place it here. All this control click delegate dragging that we did tells it this is the file you should look for. This particular method, text field should return. And in that field I'm going to say, text field resigned first responder. The keyboard goes away. Self web view outlet, load request, NSURL request with URL, blah blah blah, and basically it takes whatever text in the text field is, turn it into an NSR URL request, and tell the web outlet, this is your URL, load yourself. Now I should have synthesized those outlets. I gotta synth them here. Web view outlet, and the other one was text box outlet. So synthesize them, put this method in here. In this method, put these 2 lines of code, and then I have 3 delegates that go with the web view. One is web view did start load, web view did finish load, did fail load with error. If that occurs, I gotta do the network activity visible to no, get the string, error string, and a string with format, and this is HTML from here to there. You gotta know a little bit of HTML. It has a little placeholder in the right here, %a, that will be replaced by error.localized description. Then web self web view outlet load HTML string, error string, base URL nil. So they'll display this HTML as an error. So at this point I'm ready to run this. And of course in the master view controller I did the the import prop it and then little if statement that I've been doing all along whenever I add a new view. Click on web, see an error occurred because I forgot to type HTTP www.apple.com, and there we go. It's gonna display Apple's website here. See how when I click on it, automatically everything disappears. You may not want that behavior. How do we do it? Go back to the storyboard, go back to the text box, properties, clear when editing begins. So I think that's the one. See, now it won't clear. Now I gotta click on this one. So if you look at that property some more, you will see that clear button is always available. Some other things that I can do are some of the other things I can do are, again, bring up the text box, select the text box, and find the property for the text box. Which one is it? Attributed. Here's a placeholder saying there's nothing in there, say enter URL or give it a default. So now if I go in there, run it. Web, you see automatically there's a default in there. Then I got, well, what happened to that go and stuff? Okay, so that'll bring that up. Now what happened to that go? When I click here, yeah, we got the URL friendly, but where's the go? So I'm gonna go back in there and say return key go. So now if I look at it, When I click on it, now you see that's how the go button shows up. So what if I want to load this URL? I was to in view did load, say well, this web view's load request is going to be whatever's in text box by default. There we go. So that's how I would load default up here. There you go. So that's the UI web view. Text box working together, outlets, some properties, etc.